Welcome back to the Crypto Father channel. I am the Crypto Father. Today is the 8th of April. It's another Monday. So we're going to dive into looking at the markets and particularly what's to be expected of the Bitcoin halving, which is taking place in about 11 days on the dot, 30 minutes, 11 days and 30 minutes, according to the nice hash Bitcoin halving countdown. The market cap is at 2.7 trillion, which is not any different than it was a couple of weeks ago or a week ago, I think, during the retracement. 71 billion in trading volume, and Bitcoin is right now pushing back up to 60 to 70,000. It's had a bit of a retracement over the past 7 days, but we're at 69,000. Ethereum is at $3,400. And everything is looking a little bit red here on CoinGecko on the 7 days, but pretty green on the 24 hours and definitely green on the 1 hour charts. Cardano is struggling to maintain its 10th position on the top 10, superseded by Dogecoin. It's a race for the wins. For those of you who have not experienced the Bitcoin halving yet, who have not been through a bull run yet, I've been through 3. This is my 3rd one. So we're all hoping that this is going to be a big one. Whatever the case, everybody's looking forward to getting out alive and keeping their stash intact. However, chances are that most of you out there will not come out in one piece. So this video hopefully will provide you with some insight on what you might be looking for, your strategy, how to work on your strategy so you don't get wrecked in this bull run and you come out with some profits. An article posted by Crypto Potato titled, "This is what we can expect after the 2024 Bitcoin halving according to historical patterns." History shows that Bitcoin's price has reacted quite positively during the cycle that starts with the halving, which is to be expected given its effect on the network. After all, the production of new Bitcoin is slashed in half, and if the demand for the asset remains the same or increases, the price should go up as well. Here's a post by Mags on X. Ever wonder what Bitcoin did on the day of halving or halving day? In 2012, it moved sideways on the halving day and then pumped from $12 to $1,100. That's what 9,500 increase in just 380 days. And it pretty much did the same thing on every consecutive halving. On November 12, the halving was from 50 Bitcoin, which was the initial amount of Bitcoins mined per block, to 25 Bitcoin, which is a massive decrease. This is a decrease of 25 Bitcoin per block. This time around, the halving will go from producing 6.25 Bitcoins per block to 3.125 Bitcoins per block. So the number of Bitcoin produced is diminishing drastically. That's also the reason for the talk of diminishing returns, because I guess people are assuming that there are just fewer Bitcoins being mined. And so the overall price pumpage that's going to come from it is also going to diminish. However, as we have seen so far, Bitcoin has managed to reach the all-time high, to break the all-time high even before the halving. So the bull run of 2016 caused a 4,100% pump. The 2020 bull run had a 700% increase. And so I guess we're expecting it to be, the percentage to be much lower this time around, but because the increase from 8,000 to 69,000 obviously warrants this number. But if we're gonna go from 69 to or 70,000 to 200,000, obviously the percentage is going to be a lot lower. Nonetheless, we'll be seeing prices in the vicinity of 200,000, 250,000, maybe below that. So yesterday I had a conversation with my friend and we were talking about, he was out looking for a dip before getting in on Bitcoin. So in the last halving, Bitcoin dipped before the halving. Bitcoin dipped 63%, and then basically on the day or on the week, this is on the weekly chart, on the week of the halving, it actually ended up on a green candle, but then we saw a dip of about 10% before another high, a pump of 25%, and then a massive run. During the second halving in 2016, there wasn't much retracement before the halving. There was a bit of a run up in December of 2015, And over the duration of 2015, essentially Bitcoin just kind of moved sideways for the most part before a nice run right before the halving, and then there was a retracement after the halving of about 13%. So it wasn't all that much. And after that, basically after it bottomed out and Bitcoin touched the 21-day exponential moving average here, it basically just took off from there, and that's what we saw next. The first halving was so minuscule compared to the rest of it, it's not even showing up. It's a blip on the graph here. And we are now approaching the third halving, which is the yellow, no, it's the zone right here, fourth halving zone. So that's going to take place soon in 11 days. And so far, we haven't really seen a dip. There was a, I guess, I don't even know. Looking on the weekly, it's the same chart, but I mean, the dip is non-existent. So we had a bit of a retracement. I mean, Bitcoin reached an all-time high of 70,000, and then it retraced here. Let's go to the daily. On the daily, Bitcoin hit its all-time high prior to the halving right here at 73,000, and we saw a retracement of 16%. So there is a chance that we might see a retracement after the halving, somewhat, or there is a chance that we might not see one, and Bitcoin is just going to skyrocket from there. So I wouldn't hold my breath in hope of another retracement. For the most part, when you look at the 21 EMA here, Bitcoin is coasting along that line as it did during the halving event, and it doesn't break below. It doesn't really break below that line. So the dip in the pre-third halving in 2019, Bitcoin dipped below the 21 EMA briefly, which is what caused the 60% retracement. Yeah, 62% retracement. Right now, Bitcoin's coasting way above the 200 EMA, which is a good thing. And so I guess we're going to see that all the way until the market tops itself out. And once it does, you notice here, I wouldn't wait for Bitcoin breaking below the 200 EMA, because by the time it broke down below, it was already at 49,000. So you would have missed out on a lot of gains here. So right now, I mean, Bitcoin is right now at 69,000, which is still higher than the last bull run. But the thing is, most people right now got in at much higher prices. Back in 2020, people were getting in at lower prices, and so 69,000, the gains on that were much higher. So people were still trying to hold and squeeze as much of it as possible, and of course that didn't work out very well. But this time around, I assume that a lot of people are getting in a lot higher. They purchased Bitcoin at the $35,000, $40,000 dollar price tag, and so 69,000, even 73,000 right now is just not calming the waters. But we know that Bitcoin's going to pump. Well, we assume that it's going to pump a lot higher. So post-halving, what to expect post-halving? Well, expect about a year of a massive pump. This is what's indicated here by the last cycle. The first top was 338 days after the halving, and the second top was 548 days after the halving. In 2016, we saw the top 522 days post-halving. Essentially, we're looking at about 500 days. I think in the last bull run, we saw an early top, and then we saw an additional top. So if we were to assume that the halving takes some time within a year and a half, if we assume that the top takes place somewhere around a year and a half post the halving, then we're looking at the end or the third quarter of 2025 to see the final top of Bitcoin. And we're going to see a lot of pumps and dumps during that time. So again, the first top in 2021 in the first quarter of the year, and then we did see the final top in the last quarter of the year. 2017, same, it was 526 days. The first halving, minuscule as it is, took place around 370 days after the halving. The thing is this, so the first top that occurred in the last bull run was only a couple of $1,000. So Bitcoin topped out at 64,000 and then it pushed back up to 69,000. And I would suggest, for me personally, I would be very happy with the gains from the first top. So my goal is to start looking at taking up some profits somewhere along the way in the beginning months of 2025. Yesterday there was a video posted on Altcoin Daily, an interview with some dude talking about Bitcoin, and he made a good point. Basically, he hasn't sold any Bitcoin over the past 3 bull runs or 2 bull runs he was in, but he's been trading, he's been dumping a lot of altcoins. And that's the thing, altcoins will dump. I mean, Bitcoin will dump as well, but whatever altcoin you're holding, your best bet will be to get rid of most of them, if not all of them, because those coins will dump 100%, and half of them, if not more of them, you will never hear from again after this bull run. So this white line here is the beginning of 2025. So we should be seeing some movement around here for Bitcoin, and then quite possibly a massive shoot up over here that might continue sometime into the first quarter, and then maybe retrace and dump, or we could see another pump that could go even further up. But I would say that somewhere around here we should be seeing a top of some sort, historically, because I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. There are ETFs, there's a lot of stuff happening. Political campaign in South Korea offer crypto perks, target Bitcoin ETF access. So the political campaigns right now are leveraging election time in Korea right now. So a couple of the presidential candidates are campaigning, pushing the crypto narrative to the public because Koreans love their crypto. So this is another reason why crypto regulations have not been put in place just yet. There's no crypto tax as of yet, and it's probably going to take place sometime in 2025, quite possibly. So we'll see what the presidential candidates do and how that goes, but this is what's happening here. So in Korea, the Bitcoin ETFs are controversial because apparently South Korea's securities regulator expressed concerns that brokering these products locally might violate the law, creating confusion and impact the market. But the People's Power Party's manifesto does not directly address this controversy, but it promises to postpone planned taxes on crypto gains beyond the scheduled time frame of 2025. So they're looking, so apparently this is even going to take longer than 2025. So we could be seeing the postponement of crypto taxes in Korea even further, even longer than 2025. So that's good, I guess. Last month, South Koreans invested over $200 million in the shares of MicroStrategy Incorporated, a US-listed company that holds Bitcoin. They also showed interest in US crypto futures ETFs, which are permitted products. There's a lot of money to be made, and so Korea is not too fast on taxing people for it. Hidden Bitcoin wallets of Marathon, the world's largest Bitcoin mining company, are identified. Here's Bitcoin amount and transactions inside. The reason why this is important, this kind of indicates what the Bitcoin trajectory is going to be. Marathon Digital Holdings, with a market value of 4.93 billion, has always played a dominant role in the Bitcoin mining industry. Until now, traders and investors had to wait for earnings reports to confirm the amount of Bitcoin mined by the company. However, with the discovery of BTC addresses, such a situation is no longer the case. With this notification from Arkham, data is now directly accessible on chain, providing real-time information about Marathon's mining operations. Arkham identified a total of 23 wallet addresses associated with Marathon, holding over 1.1 billion in Bitcoin. According to the data, Marathon earned a staggering 387.5 million in revenue by mining 12,850 Bitcoin in 2023 alone. It is seen that Marathon produces approximately 25 Bitcoin daily and generates approximately $1.7 million in revenue. And this number is about to get slashed. So this company is going to have to expand, or it's going to lose a lot of market share, unless, of course, the price of Bitcoin goes up. If the size of this plant is to remain the same, then obviously the value of Bitcoin has to at least double. And so the retracement will come. There will be a dump. It will not go on forever. Kathy Woods is talking about $1.5 million per Bitcoin. Whether that's going to happen or not, it certainly is not going to happen this time around. I don't think so. I don't think there is that much money that's going to be coming into the crypto sphere, not just yet, to push Bitcoin to those heights. Hold on tight, Skybridge Chief sees Bitcoin skyrocketing to 170,000 in 18 months. Yes, I think that's quite possible. I think we could see 170,000 just based on the numbers from the halving and what is required for the mining companies to maintain their position, I guess. Otherwise, they'll have to expand. Garamucci sees the rapid growth of Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, ETFs, as a strong indicator of increasing institutional adoption. He highlights the fact that Bitcoin ETFs surpassed 10 billion in cumulative inflow within just 3 months. So keep in mind that people all over the place will be talking about the 4-year cycle, the retracement, and people will be taking profits. So the Bitcoin dump will come, the end of the bull market will come, and within the 300 to 500 days, like I showed on the graph, it's bound to happen. So in order to get out of this mess unscathed, I would suggest to slowly start taking profits along the way. Of course, you know, it's always nice to reach the top, but nobody's ever reached the top. I don't think anybody has. It's very difficult to predict the top because you never know when it's going to come. It could be here, it could be here, it could be earlier, it could be later. But save some profits along the way, so that when the end comes, you do not get left behind holding all your bags and hoping for the next bull run, which is going to be a painful time because especially if you're holding a lot of shitcoin and some altcoins that you hope will do well over the duration of the next couple of years, they probably won't. Unless it's Ethereum. Ethereum will always be there, but a lot of other altcoins will simply disappear. And so do not be left behind holding your bags uselessly, hoping that they will recover, because half of them will not. And even altcoins like ADA and Polkadot, man, they're struggling. Will they come back this season? I hope so. I really do hope so. But will they? Not sure. So anything else that isn't in the top 10 will most likely be forgotten and never heard from again. So that's my take on this whole deal. If this was somewhat educational and informative, then make sure to smash up the likes on this video, subscribe to the channel, share the content with a wider audience, and if you are feeling generous, then consider joining the channel as a member and become a crypto kitten or a crypto cat. That would be much appreciated. In any case, whatever you do, make sure to come back for another video tomorrow at around the same time. Crypto Father out.